I had a band, and as you probably know, if you saw Rocky One, that's me standing on the street corner singing
Yeah,
"Take."
yeah.
I mean, it was like a thing we figured, okay, my brother's in town, we'll just go do it. They paid us like $140. So we went down there, had a bottle of wine standing on the street corner singing a song I wrote, Piggyback. And that was it.
That's
And a
great.
year later, it's nominated for 10 Academy Awards. It ends up being one of the most, I mean, there's no way you could have predicted it was going to be like that.
Crazy.
That's impossible to predict that would be that way, but it was.
Frank Stallone, welcome to the Man of War podcast, man. It is an honor to have you on. And must I say, I'm a little starstruck right now going into
Oh,
this.
oh well, thank you, Ralph. I appreciate it.
Man, we're going to have a great conversation. So,
Absolutely.
hey, I want to dive into this. All right. So, your career has been so extensive and so many cool things that have happened with you, and you've had the opportunity to just be part of something great. And I know that studying and watching your documentaries, that a lot of times, you want to do more things in your life, but I don't know, you've done so many. You've had, record hits, you've had, been in movies, you've had the opportunity, obviously, with your younger brother, Sylvester, be part of, his great success.
Well, he's actually the older brother
Oh, he's your older brother. I'm sorry. Yes, your
and
older
the
brother.
rich
Yeah,
and
you're
the
the
rich
younger brother. Yeah.
and the richer one. Yeah. So that's right.
So, I mean, look, you've had the opportunity to come to this country, and your parents are, I believe, are Italian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start from there. I mean, you grew up where? What state were you growing up
Well,
here in the U.S.?
I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. So in the 50s. I was born 1950. So I was born in New York.
Hmm.
But I mean, as a baby, basically, literally a few months old, we moved to Silver Spring, Maryland.
Right.
Because my father, which is kind of strange, most Italians went to New York. My father, when they came over from Italy, settled in Washington, D.C., which was not like the big holdout for the Italians, but the only
Sure.
Italians I knew basically were my family, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. It was
Yeah.
a pretty good sized brood. So we lived in Silver Spring. And then later on, my mother got divorced. I left Silver Spring and moved to Philadelphia. And that was a big upheaval going from little town of Silver Spring to a major cosmopolitan town like Philadelphia. So then I stayed there, and then from by the time I got out of high school, I was kind of a vagabond playing music. So I
Hmm.
would either visit my father in Maryland, visit my mother in Florida,
Hmm.
stay with my brother in New York. So it's basically that was kind of my circle, you know.
So your parents basically, were they born in Italy, or their grandparents were?
Now, my father was born in Italy, and my mother was born in Washington, D.C.
Got it. Got it. So you came up with a traditional Italian household, you would say?
Yeah, I would say, well, yeah. I mean, my grandparents couldn't speak barely a word of English, and they've been here like 50 years. My grandfather, Sylvester, was a barber, so he didn't really have most of his customers were like Italians. And so they spoke Italian around the house, my
Mhm.
aunts, my father, aunts and uncles, because just in deference to my grandparents, because they
Mhm.
weren't adept. My grandmother spoke a little English, my grandfather, not too much. No.
Got it. Got it. All right. So talk to me, but then when did you start loving music? Was that a young thing, or you kind of grew into it?
I would say honestly, I think all my life. I mean, I started, excuse me, singing at like 5, 6 years old. And then I guess it was just a chain reaction. You'd
Mhm.
see people go, "Oh, look at Frankie singing, and making people happy." And obviously, I had to be fairly good, or they would say, "Shut up, kid." So yeah, from there, I guess it was just plugged into it, right away. I mean, and when I was a kid, that's when Elvis Presley came out. Before
Sure.
that,
Sure.
it was Frank Sinatra and Nat Cole, but which was all great. But I remember seeing Love Me Tender in the movie theater. So when that happened. That just changed. It was kind of like Beatlemania. It just changed the whole forefront. Everyone wanted to be Elvis because before that, a little before Elvis, you have James Dean
Hmm. Yeah.
from Brando and the Wild. So that juvenile delinquent kind of vibe was starting already.
Yeah.
Sal Mineo in the movies and stuff like that. So that was it. Everyone wanted to have long hairs with DA like Elvis, and he was the coolest guy around. So that just made it more. And then the Everly Brothers, and then all these other groups coming up, Jerry Lee Lewis, and all. It was just a wonderful time to really to discover rock and roll music. So I just was. It's really hard to explain. It was just there. I just gravitated towards it, and I said, "This is what I wanted to do."
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't want to be a fireman, didn't want to be a cop, wanted to be rock and roll guy. But of
Hmm.
course, everyone, if you realize at that time, every TV show was either a Western or a cop show.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yep.
Everything. Or
Remember.
military movies. So I went to military school. That was the thing to do because, that was, I mean, it was no big deal. That
Right,
was,
right,
okay. You're gonna join the army. I mean, everybody I knew, you know, all the police, all the fire, they're all World War II Korean veterans, all of them. Some
right.
of them, I met guys that were World War One veterans. So you
Hmm.
figure in 1961, if they were born in 1902, they were only like 59 years old,
Yeah,
younger than I am now, a World War
yeah.
One vet. So that
Crazy.
was that was kind of the vibe. Yeah.
So tell me at what point in your life then, you love music and you were
Yeah.
very artistic. I mean, you seem like you're a pretty artistic guy. You even the way you speak from the heart. There's fire, when you're speaking. I love that. And I know that your brother had great success in the 70s with the first Rocky movie.
Oh yeah, huge.
And then did that spark you up, wanted to maybe start giving you an opportunity to say, hey, you know what, maybe you want to do some acting or maybe you do some music scores for movies?
I was no, I had a band, and as you probably know, if you saw Rocky One, that's me standing on the street corner singing
Yeah,
"Take."
yeah,
I mean, it was like a thing. We figured, okay, my brother's in town, we'll just go do it. They paid us like $140, so we went down there, had a bottle of wine, standing on the street corner singing a song I wrote, "Take You Back," and that was it.
that's
And a
great.
year later, it's nominated for 10 Academy Awards. It ends up being one of the most. I mean, there's no way you could have predicted it was going to be like that.
Crazy.
It's impossible to predict that would be that way, but it was. And and my focus was. I mean, I thought about acting. I love movies. I mean,
Hmm.
I probably I can't even tell you how many thousands of movies I've seen over my life. But being a musician during the day, there was nothing to do. So what would you do for 50 cents? You go to the movies.
Sure.
Dude. Um, then I thought, okay, we're gonna do music. This is good, but it kind of juxtaposed in a way where I became the victim of a thing. Just unbeknownst to me, and my whole life up to that point. Let's see, when Rocky comes out, I'm 25. I've been at that point. I started professionally at 15. All of a sudden, it was like, who's this Rocky's brother? Who's he think he is? And it's
Mm.
like, whoa, wait a second. I mean, my whole life it was always like, hey, when Frank makes it big, he's going to take care of Sly.
Right, right.
I mean, we were a really good band. We were signed to RCA Records, and all of a sudden, it turned into not Frank Stallone anymore, but Rocky's brother, and
Sure.
kind of held this thing. No, it's impossible. There can't be two talented people. No, it's impossible. I said, well, you have the Wright brothers. They're pretty talented, right? I mean, so all of a sudden, I was just getting lambasted, and I wasn't used to it. I mean,
Right.
in my world, we were always like a great musician. Frank plays really good guitar. His band's good. The songs, baby, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, it was just no matter what I did, it was like, huh, well, I guess he's hanging on his brother's coattails. I go, how? I'm not in this movie. I'm in this movie like 20 seconds singing what
Sure.
I do. It's not
Sure.
like I'm doing Othello or something. And then that became very difficult because I wasn't being judged on Frank Stallone's talent. I was being judged in comparison. And we're in two different fields. He's acting, I'm in the music. But
Sure.
nonetheless, that was a tough one.
I got you. I got you. And does that still from time to time haunt you nowadays or and more importantly, because I know that, you know, especially when it comes to having a brotherly relationship, it's, being the younger brother. I'm the older brother of four. So uh, I know that relationships are so important. Did that taint your relationship at any point? How have you been able really to just overcome that and continue your great success?
It did in some ways. I mean, let's be honest. He was 29 years old when Rocky came out. He had like $150 to the name.
Yeah,
Of course, when you're getting accolades on top of accolades, are you going to get a bit of a swelled head and think like who you are a little bit? Of course. I mean,
sure.
normally, not. I don't know how long it'll sustain, but yeah, you're going to have that. And I think it got in the way of some stuff. Not. I mean, we had periods where we didn't talk for a while because he thought, "Oh, what are you complaining about?" I said, "Because no matter what I do, I'm just going." Well, we'd like to have you this concert. Think you can get your brother to show up? And it's like, oh, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's like if you saw my documentary
I
appearing
did.
tonight,
Yeah,
Rocky's, I was like, come on, man. And after a while, it was just like, it just got really tired and old. And there came to a point where I just lived with it. I said, I'm just going to let my whatever talent I have
sure.
shine through. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it beat me up. So I'm just going to do it. And it's been a long road. I mean, I've done a lot of movies, done some good ones, done some stinkers, done some good ones. But, I always want to say, how come I'm not working as much as these guys that I know? I mean, these movies like Tombstone, Barfly, Hudson Hawk, big movies. And I see these other guys I know that really haven't done, but they're working all the time.
Hmm.
And, they said, hey, man, some people pay the sins of their fathers, sins and not really a sin, but if he's not the flavor of the month now, maybe
Sure.
it can kind of rule over. But I think I was somewhat sensible. I mean, I'm not really ultra flashy. I mean, I have a nice place, but I'm not ultra flashy. I still drive a 1993 Ford Bronco I've had since it was brand new.
Oh, no way. I
Perfect.
love that car.
Every day, someone wants it
Incredible.
only has 140,000 miles in 32 years.
Wow.
It looks brand new. Every day I get someone,
Amazing.
"Hey, man, I got this Armenian guy. Hey, bro, would you like to sell?" I said, yeah, give me that Mercedes Maybach you're driving. We'll talk. No, bro. Okay, so, yeah,
Yeah,
but, and yeah, I mean, I'm not really, of course, so I like to have the new Corvette because I think it's cool and it's American made.
sure.
My brother had one in Florida. It's really a really pretty amazing car. But I don't, you know, I think the most expensive thing I spent on was my competition shotgun for trap. But I'm not like a jewelry guy. I don't,
Hmm.
hey, I'm going to Monte Carlo. I couldn't give two hoots about going to Monte Carlo. So,
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your life though. Right now, what's your focus point? What are you doing? I mean, there's so much. I mean, I want to dive into your career
mhm.
in a moment, but I mean, what are you doing now?
Well, what I'm doing now, Rafa, it's really kind of strange. Uh, I'm 75 now, just turned
You
last
look
week.
great, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And, before you was like, yeah, man, can't wait to get that award. And now it's like, if it was like 30 years ago, 35 years ago. But now it's not like you're jaded. Like it's now what's the most important thing? I think to stay healthy,
Hmm.
have to deal with losing a lot of people as you get older. I mean, you lose.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a fun part. I remember when I was in my 30s, people go, wait till you get to my age. Every phone call is like, oh boy, who dropped dead today? And it's getting like that. And it's really,
Yeah.
it's alarming. Like it's like my girlfriend's very spiritual and things like that.
Hmm.
And buried my friend. Well, he was buried in Philadelphia
Hmm.
about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. I've known him since 1960. Best friends.
Wow. Sorry to
So,
hear that. That's a long
yeah, man,
friendship.
that's a
That
long.
doesn't, by the way, that doesn't exist nowadays too much. To have
No,
long relationships like that.
yeah, all my relationships with all my friends are all long. I mean, I
Yeah.
can, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in my bedroom. I go, what the hell was that? There was a hummingbird flying around in my bedroom.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and then sitting on my bedpost, like looking at the hummingbird. And my girlfriend goes, that's Greg. I said, well, I believe in the spiritual world, and
Hmm.
I've read about signs like that,
Right.
whether it's a bird, butterflies. But it was the day he was being buried. What are
Crazy.
of a hummingbird inside my bedroom?
Crazy.
So I kind of took that, and when I looked it up, I said, it could be,
Yeah.
could be. He was there saying, Frank, I'm okay. I'll see you on the other side.
So let's take it down that path. Are you a spiritual man?
Yes, we try to fight it in a lot of ways. Well, there's no such thing as God. There's no such thing as that. And because it seems so fantastic.
Hmm.
Like, really? I mean, there is maybe a hell and there is a place where you go that's nice or the karma and stuff like that. But then I'm not so arrogant not to believe that there's something much, much bigger than us somewhere.
Hmm.
And it's kind of interesting that people that have done really bad stuff to people, maybe they lived a good life for a while, like George Soros. But how about the afterlife? Where now there's no escape. You can't go to Cancun. You're sitting there frying or something like that. And I,
Yeah.
and I think if you show gratitude, and my girlfriend's told me that, practice it every day. Gratitude, Frank. Okay, you don't have the biggest house in the block. You don't have this 300-foot yacht, but I wouldn't want one anyway. I mean, I'm kind of simple that way. But I like good things, like good restaurants, I like good clothes and stuff. But I'm not, you know, like some of these women have 900 pairs of shoes. That
Sure.
doesn't do anything for me. I've always been info nut, so I have in my whole walls, my library, top to ceiling with books. So I kind of like where I get off on, I would wander off in books. When I was in living in Trenton, New Jersey, in my $80 a month apartment, really dive. I mean, neighborhood. I would sit there because again, we worked at night, in the band, and I would just get into books. I would sit there, no air conditioning, maybe a fan, ghetto, you know what I mean? But all of a sudden, you could I found with reading, you could take yourself away. Like if you read Atlas Shrugged, or if you read some of these books like, Hemingway, Green Hills of Africa, it could take you there. I mean, you can actually take yourself there. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, when you're talking about the spirituality, can you visualize something different? I mean, are you open to that? I mean, I had a reading with this phenomenal medium, and I'm there like, wait, she doesn't know anything about me. How's this happening? She doesn't know anything about me. Bringing up things, not so much uh, people, things, events. Well, how about this person? I see this person coming in, and I must admit, I was a little freaked out.
Hmm. Yeah. It's you
Like,
know,
are there UFOs? I mean, are we? I mean, to think about. How advanced would have a life to be if they could come from how many billions of miles away
mhm.
with an aircraft into here? They're like 10,000 light years more advanced than us. I mean, the thing would melt coming right into
Yeah, I
the
agree.
solar system. So I just think it's just too happenstance. I mean, does that mean everyone in the Air Force, everyone is nuts? So there's not one real guy saying, well, I've been a fighter pilot for like 15 years, and this is what I saw. I mean, is everyone nuts, or is it just is it a ploy? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, is it a ploy to keep us in the dark? Is this like War of the Worlds? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a big UFO guy. I mean, I follow it very deeply, and I believe with everything in me that we are not the only life form out
Oh,
here.
I do too.
You know?
Are they looking down on us like we're like buffoons? Like
Yeah.
we destroy everything. I
Yep.
mean, we destroy oceans, we destroy the land, we kill each other over fucking wars and lands, and like when you think with Putin. What is his end game?
Yeah.
He's never going to take over Ukraine. They're not going to give him their country.
Yeah. His
He's
demands
running,
are out of, they don't
and
even
he's
make sense.
and he's running out of e-tickets. His country's taking a beating too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and when I hear China, for some reason, I have never feared China. I think they're just a bunch of saber rattlers. They've never beaten anyone in a war. Who've ever fought in a war?
Haven't beaten anybody. Yep.
No. I mean, we took on two greatest countries in World War II, Japan and Germany, at the same time, by the way,
Yep.
with an unprepared military. And I think if there are 10 things you do know when they say, well, this is our new sub, then there's 150, 200 things you don't know.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah.
Put it on the news. Oh, well, here's
Yeah.
our. It's all diversionary tactics. I mean, I think when they go, our Chinese Navy is so big. I said, well, that Chinese Navy could become very small very quick.
Yeah.
Those Triton subs we have out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because,
And yeah, for sure. I think so. So your stance in our country right now, and the things that are happening in the world, do you
yeah.
believe that we are in a better place now than we were a couple of years ago?
Oh God. The day Joe Biden got in, I was literally where I was terrified. I think this guy back then, his cognizant skills were gone. I think he's a charlatan. He was always never bright. Even
Hmm.
people, even Obama, this guy was never bright. He was just had a lot of guts, a lot of pushy, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then when the thing with Kamala, I was I was terrified. I think she has the IQ of a 12-year-old. She's a drunk. She's been put in every position, juxtaposed. She didn't earn
Sure.
any. And I said, "You're," and the thing is, what gets me nervous. I mean, has our brain skills gone to a point where you actually want to, when you travel this country, you would actually let this woman run your country? This giggling buffoon that makes no sense at all. And then you look in New York City, Mondami. I said, "Are you insane?" And it's the largest Jewish population other than Israel. You want to put in a total anti-Semite, radical communist. What are you thinking? I
But
mean,
but Frank, let me ask you something though. I mean, when we say like just put people in, people had to vote for those people. Like
exactly. That's
it
even
makes no
scarier.
sense.
But
Yeah.
that's even scarier. You
Yeah.
actually went to the
Yeah.
poll and go, okay, saying I'm Jewish, but I'm going to put an anti-Semite Hamas, boom, 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 Islamic.
Crazy.
What are you thinking? I mean, is it they hate? What do you hate about Trump? You don't like his person. His hair's not orange anymore, so you can't pick on that. What do you hate? That we're getting illegal criminals and people that shouldn't be here that are putting a major pressure on your tax dollars? Are you unhappy about that? Are you unhappy that we have all these billions of dollars coming in from other countries because we've been getting ripped off for years? What are you unhappy about? I mean, who's unhappy? Is the poor guy in the street that's going to get a break on Social Security and tips and all? He's not unhappy, is he? I don't think so. So who are the people that are unhappy? My thought, the people that got their hand in the cookie jar. I think AOC, Schumer, this Maxine Waters, these people are crooks because you're making 165,000 a year. How do you possibly live in a $3 million home?
That's insane.
I said, if that is the case, can you connect me with your accountant? I'm serious.
Yeah.
So 165,000 before taxes probably leaves you with maybe 128, 120. You wouldn't even qualify for a loan for 2 million.
Right.
The just your mortgage alone would be more than your income.
Yeah.
Maxine Waters with this James Brown retread wig on. Where did these people come from? I mean, how
Yeah.
do they con these people into voting for them? Russell, it befuddles me. I cannot. We're on a trajectory. We
Yeah.
could have waltzed and Kamala Harris. Do you understand what these countries like China and Russia, what they would do to us? I mean, can you imagine her
Yeah.
standing? This guy is a special Trump. I mean, I've known him a long time. Okay, I used to play at his casinos in Atlantic City. He's a different breed of guy. He's very smart. He's dealt with some of the best minds in the world, even before he became president. And I mean, president in business and blah, blah, blah. He's had to deal with people. These people in Congress are like lightweights. They're like jokes. I mean, you couldn't build an empire like that and not have to deal with some interesting people. Put it that way.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think some people look at Trump. He's too hard of a negotiator. He's too direct. They don't like, some of the tweets that he tweets out. And these are the people, like you said, that have their hands on the cookie jar and that are going to be exposed rather quickly.
Yeah.
You look at situations like that are going on right now. It's like he just set up an investigation for this Maxine Waters. He's
Oh,
setting up hey,
she
it's
lives in a $4 million house.
yeah.
Obviously, she doesn't
Yeah.
spend it on her wigs. She must have stole it from James Brown's funeral hall or something. But I mean, how do you have $4 million house?
Yeah.
I don't have a $4 million house, and I'm sure I've done better than Maxine Waters. And I'm just saying, or AOC. How would you even live on 165,000 a year in New York or New Jersey? You'd be getting like a little apartment,
Right.
like an apartment, not even a condo. You can buy a condo.
No.
You can't buy a condo out here for under $800,000. So the thing is, it's so blatant. I don't understand. You want to go after Trump. You want to put him in prison. You want to destroy his kids and everything. So why don't we put a forensic accountant on Maxine Waters, AOC, Schiff? We're not breaking the law. We're doing like what they would do with Underworld. So we're just checking because
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to add up to me that you have all this with just this.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense at all. And now they're trying to figure out from a Democratic perspective who are they going to throw into the race coming up, in the
No,
next few years. And this
Newsom,
guy
are you
from
kidding me?
that's it. This guy
Come
from
on.
California keeps on popping up. Are you kidding me?
He's such a buffoon. He's such a buffoon. And our mayor, the one she looks like a chia pet. Remember those things? The little
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah.
I said, what are you thinking? We have Rick Caruso. Rick is a paisan man, smart. He's built some of those beautiful venues in here. He came from nothing from Los Angeles. I said, you're going to not vote him. So to me, that election was rigged. Look at the fires we had out here. It's unbelievable. The
Yeah.
reservoir is empty in the Palisades, and the Santa Ana winds are coming, and anything can happen, and that kind of stuff. And your reservoir's empty,
Yeah.
millions and millions of gallons of water. But Rick Caruso saved his shopping center. Why? He had his own fire department. Smart.
Wow.
And if he was mayor and Chad Bianco was the governor, he's great. Chad Bianco is the Riverside County Sheriff, which is a huge, huge place. I mean, Riverside County goes all the way to Palm Springs. He'd be great. Straight shooting, nice guy, married guy, fit, and he's very smart. I mean, I don't think, I think honestly, if we don't get the right governor and the right mayor in California, I think there will be a mass exodus. I mean, there already has been a mass. If you go to Beverly Hills, every other storefront, lease, rent, everyone's getting out.
I was going to ask you about that. Have you guys felt it there? There are people actually
Oh,
leaving?
man, my friend has a store in Beverly Hills. He goes, we're down 60%.
Oh, man.
Who wants to go to Beverly Hills and you got these thugs? They're not from Beverly Hills. I'm not saying people in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills are cool, but these guys are like, yeah, man, but they're thugs. No, everyone's afraid
Yeah.
to wear a nice watch. Women don't, but some people go, you know what? I'll stay home and watch, you know, Copland, or I'll sit home and watch Tulsa King. Why would I go out there? I'll have my wife cook. We'll have a good time. So
Frank,
what?
who is voting this guy in though? I mean, who are the people? Because everyone that I
What,
speak to,
Mondami? I,
yeah,
I I don't know.
yeah,
I think Curtis Slee would be the best mayor. He's got to lose the beret though. I mean, what is this, Sergeant Barry Sadler? I mean, you got to lose the beret. I mean, you got to be somewhat mayoral. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But I think he'd be a great mayor. He knows every inch of that city and the boroughs, and the cops like him.
yeah,
But if you don't have the right campaign, yep, it's everything. It's the look. It's the thing. Not this Mondami. If you look at him, I with that smile, he's evil.
yeah,
He don't get like that nasty face. He's an evil guy.
yeah,
This guy was a bad rapper, couldn't even get a record deal. It's almost like Zelensky was a bad comedian.
yeah.
This is who you want running your country?
Crazy.
God. But I don't know who the Democratic Party, who do they really have to run against JD Vance if he runs?
Yeah,
Who?
yeah. I don't think they
All
have
old.
anybody.
They're all old. What are you gonna put Bernie Sanders again? He's 84 years old. He can't run. I mean, what I think they're I think, what do you think? I think he's going to end the war in Ukraine. I think he's going to do it. If anyone can do it, he can do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And if he does that, he will definitely get the Nobel Peace Prize
Oh yeah.
because he also did the thing with Armenia
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he's done other things,
Yeah.
which other people couldn't do. Uh, Obama gets the Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing.
Yeah.
What peace did he? He was a neighborhood organizer. I mean, that to me was the biggest ruse. He
Hmm.
was even shocked. Nobel Peace Prize. You're thinking of like Albert Einstein, Albert Schweitzer,
Sure.
people, Obama for Nobel.
But Frank, let me ask you, the people that you run in circles with over there in California and your parts, I mean, how do they feel about the governor overall? I mean, his crappy handling of that fire, it's just a bad look, man, for that state.
Oh, I think this. I think there are other, like typical Democrats. If you pressure them to go, oh, whatever, and they walk away because they have no answer. That's the real Democratic thing. If you go, so why don't you like Trump? Why don't you like this? Well, no, I don't know. Well, all right, screw you, and they walk off because
Right.
they don't know. They're. First of all, I don't hang around people like that, and I don't really let them into my. They go, well, Joe's like a liberal Democrat. I said, well, don't bring him around me.
Right.
I don't want to talk to him. I have nothing to talk to him about because I can't understand liberal for what? What are you liberal about?
Sure.
Like funding the police, people afraid to go out of their houses, illegal aliens with driver's license, illegal aliens sucking off our economy at billions and billions of dollars. This is what you're liberal about?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they're taking Jose away. Jose came in here illegally. Why didn't he come in legally? I don't understand. Why you just get a visa? We got guys coming across the bridge from Tijuana every day. They have work visas. They work the fields and they go back home. Totally legal. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, there's a right way and there's a wrong way. If you were look at that Marine that they caught at the Mexican border, kept him there for 6 months.
Yep.
But if you do that in their country, they'll snack you up. They'll grab you up.
Yep.
But here we just. And listen, I'm not on a crusade. Listen, I know there's probably a lot of people out here, gardeners. They're not bad people. They're just working. But
Sure.
why not make it easy on yourself? I just don't think you can go, okay, well, he's been here 30 years, never been a problem, always worked. Yeah, but did he pay taxes? Do I have to pull up the rear? Is it going to be more of a strain on me? But if they pay taxes like everyone else, then you're going to benefit. Like the guys I have working for me, they're legal. They're going to get pensions. They said, listen, man, if I'm putting all this work here, at least I'm going to get something out of it.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
You came up in the era under Reagan. He handled this in a way where pretty much like what you're saying, but the people that were allowed to stay in were people that were actually paying taxes, especially, the immigrants that had been here for X amount of, years and who actually had been paying taxes and who were part
Absolutely.
of the community.
Yeah.
It's until Obama came in, and actually, people don't even say this, or they don't want to talk about it, but he basically moved a tremendous wave of immigrants out of this country, and nobody had one word to say. Everybody
Remain.
was okay.
Yeah, and Trump does this, and then the illegals go to Martha's Vineyard like 150. They've got the air patrol out. They go, oh no, not here. I said, wait a second. I guarantee if you ask 90% people, I said, listen, we're going to do a program. You can house and clothe and feed this family that you feel so bad about that they're being persecuted. Oh no, I can't. No, but you want the American people to shoulder, but you don't want to do it.
That's right.
People adopt kids all the time, so you can adopt the family and you pay the piper. They don't want to do that. Martha's Vineyard, so liberal. 150 illegals over there. You would think they were being invaded by Martians.
Yeah,
Police out, they had helicopters out,
no,
and
no
but
doubt.
these are the same people. So what I just don't deal with them. I think there's a smugness with these left wing Democrats that really rub me the wrong. It's like they look down at you. So you look down at me.
Yeah,
You're looking at me. You would be nothing
right.
if you didn't marry whatever his name that runs the studio. These wives. You are a bottle server. Okay, basically.
But my question too here is like California is such a beautiful place, you
It's the
know?
most beautiful.
Yeah. And I just, man, it hurts me because San Francisco, I haven't been there
Oh, you should
lately,
be
but
beautiful.
I haven't been there lately, but I heard, some many great things about San
You
Francisco
should be amazing.
and it
Now,
used to be like the place and now they've
you would
broken it down. Really.
no. It's worse than LA in some ways, even though it's smaller.
Oh, wow.
Well, there's your Gavin Newsom for you. And we don't deserve an Olympics in LA. We don't. It's trash filled junkies, Skid Row, horribly managed. We don't deserve an Olympics. We don't.
Wow.
I think it's going to be the worst Olympics in the history of the Olympic Games. I think
Thank you.
Trump is destroying it. I think it's going to be the worst. Whoops, what did I do here? I think it's going to be the worst. The city's not ready for it. I mean, this city should be pristine, should be clean. It's graffiti ridden. I did a post a few months ago. It feels like, remember that movie Escape from New York?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it looks like downtown.
No way.
No,
Unbelievable.
I was terrified. I was terrified. And I've grown up and, I've been on my own since a long time. Driving through these things, it's like they're creeps. It's like Night of the Living Dead meets Escape from New York. It's like when we did Rocky in Philadelphia on a street that I used to shop at. It was like my brother and I are going, oh my God, there are people walking around in the midday like this. They're so drugged out.
Like a
I
zombie.
mean,
Wow.
no, I mean it was so scary. I
Yeah.
said we used to run around those streets. It's just gotten to a point they don't want to let the police do their job. When I was a
Right.
kid, if you got smart, they tell you one, then they lay a sap on you, and that would be the end of the story. They throw you in the paddy wagon. Now it's like you're getting in the why are you getting in the conversation with someone that's giving you the F bombs? You're a cop. The girl's going, what F blah, 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 blah. I said, no, 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 no. When I was growing up, you get a backhand. They throw you the you didn't do it. In Philadelphia with Frank Rizzo, the mayor. No way, man.
Yeah.
But you learned respect. I mean, I grew up, we respected our military guys. We respected our police officers. Not perfect people. They're human, but we didn't sit there and like throw stuff. That would have never happened. Like if you were burnt an American flag when I was growing up,
Hmm.
I'm sure 20 cars were pulled over and just gotten out, maybe beating you to death.
Yeah.
These guys were in World War II, Korea, my era, a lot of them in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And they've seen a lot of their brethren die. So they didn't take kindly to that. I think that should be actually, to me, a
Hmm.
federal offense if you burn the American flag, or
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about just that respect, masculinity,
Mhm.
where I think, and you're in that world a lot more. So maybe you can give us a little bit of an insight where, for whatever reason, it seems like Hollywood just does not want to bring forth the elements like, you had John Wayne,
Oh yeah,
James D. You had that type. Even
yeah,
your brother, he did a lot
yeah,
of masculine roles, a lot of masculine movies. And Rocky's one of my all-time,
yeah.
across all of them,
Great.
inspiration. I'm sure people who tell you that all the time. But where has that gone in Hollywood? Because now what you're seeing, and listen, I don't have a problem with women, but it just seems like every hero of every movie is a woman. Like, what happened to the old school John Wayne types? Where is it embedded in Hollywood that they just don't want that?
This is the new Hollywood. These are people. I don't even know what they are. They're what their gender, and they think they're being cool and they're doing. But all those movies, like Snow White, the
Yeah.
new Superman, they're bombed.
Yeah.
They're not making. They're bombing.
Yeah.
But they just instead of firing Bob Iger from Disney, Walt Disney would be rolling in his grave if he saw these people. And but you see slowly. Steve Colbert got fired. Basically, I think the
Hmm.
view's off the air. When they go, "Oh, we're taking a hiatus," no, you're fired. That's what
Yeah.
was happening.
Yeah.
People will be next. Seth Meyers will be next. Rachel Maddow will get the boot because there's no return on having them there. Their ratings are low. They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars for this, and so now level-headed business guys are going, "Wait a second, who wants to watch Whoopi?"
Sure.
Old ladies wearing their bedroom slippers during the day. Who's watching her?
Sure.
So when I grew up, there was more positive TV, fun stuff. The Smothers Brothers, Dean Martin show. There was
Yeah.
like variety. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I think it's this wokeness has come in that is very scary. It's a wokeness that's come in like you have to have every ethnicity in every movie. And
Hmm.
the part doesn't call for it.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a Western, where's like a gay Chinese guy? Where's that fit in there?
Sure.
I saw the movie I did, Tombstone. That was definitely masculinity at its, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and Richard Dreyfuss is big on that. He goes, no, this is art. You don't tell us what we're putting in our movies like this DEI nonsense. Well, you have to have one gay, one black, one Asian. No, I don't. I
Right.
don't have to have that.
Right.
And so that's what's happening. I mean, our business is basically falling apart. We don't do films here anymore. Most of them were in different states and different countries. We cannibalized our own business. But I'm just watching. I'm watching Kojak from season one. I'm
Yeah.
almost done, and I go, "Wow, that's the New York I lived in. Who loves you, baby, Quacker?"
Yeah.
I mean, these are like guys. He goes, "Hey,
Yeah.
fatso, come on."
Yeah.
Now everyone's offended by everything. But they weren't offended then. I mean, what happened? Did people just become offended, like all in the family?
So this guy, all right, I don't know. You probably know him
Oh,
and Robert De Niro. Okay.
oh my
I,
God.
I got a problem. I've been a fan of his movies for a little bit, but I don't know what point in time did he just switch to this woke, left wing, Trump hating. I don't
But
know.
bad vitriol. I mean, bad.
Yeah.
Actually, mean. It's like,
Yes.
when did you ever see people talk about the president in that vile tone? Like Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, president, idiot. I said, this
Right.
fuck. When,
Yeah.
when did people start talking about the president of the United States like that?
Right.
Gavin Newsom, you're calling the president scum. See, the thing is, could you imagine that doing that to Reagan?
No.
Never,
No. No.
never. And I think we've just got a little loose of that. If it was me, I said, well, guess what? You are not welcome in the White House press room anymore. You're out. And I can put in who I want. You don't come in. We can tell you who comes
Right.
in.
Right.
And that's why, dude, you just gotta I think you gotta put your foot down. But
Yeah.
these people that have taken over Hollywood, but it's all failing. They're trying. Snow White was the worst disaster
Oh
in,
yeah.
in Hollywood history next to Ishtar. Okay? Nobody wants to see a multiracial Snow White. It's called Snow White, not Snow Brown or Snow Yellow.
Yeah.
Snow White. Why can't you just, first of all, why do you even remake it? It was perfect.
Right.
It's like, why don't you do a remake of Gone with the Wind and ruin that too?
Yeah,
There's certain things that are just leave it. It's a perfect movie. There's perfect songs, there's perfect movies. Just why don't you come up with something new? That's what I always think. Why don't you invent something new?
yeah,
And it's very frustrating. I mean, I don't even I think people basically know. I don't even I mean, I'm not mean to people. I just don't even when they start getting that conversation, I overhear, I just walk away, get a cup of coffee. I don't even I said, if they press me, I said, you know what? I don't like to talk about politics at work, if you don't mind.
When did you see the shift in Hollywood specifically?
Mm.
What time frame?
I would say around the millennium.
Really?
Yeah, 90s was still kind of rock and roll. I think probably
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2005.
Hmm.
Because what happens? All these people that are running the studios, these whatever they are, they were underlings.
Hmm.
So now the old time guys that ran the studios are gone or they retired. These guys that were coffee getters or whatever they were, the
Yeah,
they're the woke, and that's what's running the business. But it's not working. I
yeah,
mean, there's failure after failure after failure, and you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars that Disney and these companies cannot afford to lose because people just stop going to the movies. That'll be the end of it. So um, I don't know what else. I mean, it's here's the funny thing. Oh, I could lose my job acting. Why? For having an opinion? But they can have an opinion like these actresses, these horrible pustules of people. They can have but nothing happens to them. So, in other words, what you're saying is just your point of view that matters, not anyone else's.
that's right. That's
And I
right.
think people are tired of it. And I think people should start really, if you're an actor and you're doing something, oh, we got fired because we you don't condone. You don't condone the First Amendment.
Right.
So, if some of these actors would go out and just sue the studios, get one of these lawyers, these civil lawyers, and just sue. Said, I
Hmm.
didn't do anything. Came, did my work. I have an opinion about something. Oh, well, the workplace. Well, there's no law in that. So I think that would be great.
Yeah. So, along with Robert De Niro and some of the other guys, even like
Ah,
Schwarzenegger and like that changed their mentality. And these guys were, you look at them in the 90s and 80s, these were masculine men portraying masculine
Arnold,
values.
Arnold will go anywhere the wind flows. As you can see,
Yeah.
screw your rights. And now you're like walking that back. Yeah, all
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
He just goes with the flow. He's
Yeah.
not that bright. I mean, he's a nice guy, but he's not well read. He's
Yeah.
just, he capitalizes on something. Last person I'd listen to would be Arnold as far as politics.
Yeah, that's what I tell my kids. I said, listen, you don't get your politics from people in the movie stars or anything like that. You got to make it up. You got to
But
study, learn it. You know.
I've said it all the time. People get offended. I said, if I want to listen to anything about intelligentsia, the last person I'm going to listen to is a musician or actor. Most of them are really stupid. They could be great actors, but they're not that bright. They're not well read. Most of them are insecure, and everything is like, why? That's why I've never dated actresses. I
Yeah,
can't stand them. Oh no, I don't have the personality for that. You're going to sit there. You're going away for 8 weeks and doing this lovey-dovey movie.
yeah,
Stay there. Keep going. That's not for me. But I mean, I'm not. Like I'm trying to practice gratitude more and more,
sure,
and I realize, you know what? Maybe I'm not where I wanted to be, but I'm not doing bad. I mean, I've lived in my house for 40 years. I have some of my friends, unless they haven't died. I would like to play music a little more. I'd like to do a few more movies because I enjoy doing it. It's not like
sure,
the I like doing it. I don't want to sit around.
sure.
And and but all in a whole, if you look at the average person has $800 in their checking account, I'm doing pretty good.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought of doing a podcast or having your own show? Anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. People tell me all the time I should.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that you're well spoken, you're well versed. Like you tell me you read a lot of books. I love
Oh yeah.
books, that's a big deal. So I think I think your point of view and your, especially, how passionate you are, that would go a long way, and a podcast
Yeah.
is a great medium of conversation, without a doubt. I think that would be good for you and to really get that message out there.
I'm not a political, and let me just state this. I am not a political pundit. I'm not Charlie Kirk. I mean, those guys know about politics more than
Right,
I'll.
right.
I'm just a regular citizen.
Yeah.
I guess you call me a boomer. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, boomer.
That's okay. I'll wear that proudly because the guys I came up with saved our world. Okay,
Yeah.
from World War II. So, but I mean, the thing is, um, that being said, I just have an opinion like anyone else, and I think what's very sad in this country that people are not being heard. And if they are heard, they're losing their job, they're losing their careers. That's not right. That's not the American way. So are you telling me I can? And that's why sometimes I cannot be around these left-wing liberals
Mhm.
because I'm sitting there going like this. My fist is like I said, boy, I just like to pile drive this guy right through the wall.
Yeah.
You I
Yeah.
can't listen to because it's so stupid to me. We're supposed to be all for one, one for all. This
Sure.
everyone's in this.
Sure.
You know, yeah, sure, you don't like guns, but you live behind a gated wall and you have security. You don't live in Boyle Heights. You don't live in this part of town where you just have a house with no fence where you could be robbed any day, gangs and stuff. It's very easy. Let me take you from your Malibu mansion that's surrounded by guards and walls and put you in a house in Canoga Park. That's how you like it. Knowing that someone could just smash into your window, come to your house, and do whatever they want. So they're all brave like that. I said, why don't they just said something today. You know how they're in Washington, D.C., they're all complaining about what Trump's doing, federalizing it.
Right.
You notice all these people that say the law is good, there's no crime. Look where they're protesting.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Yeah.
do that in Southwest Washington and
Yeah.
see how long you last?
Yeah.
Why didn't you, when it starts getting dark out, protest down southwest, southeast? See how long you last out there. There's no crime.
Yeah.
You
Do
don't
do
find
do you think that nowadays, I mean, it's, we talked about the respect factor and masculinity. Do you think that nowadays people just they don't have that same sense of patriotism that you felt maybe in the 70s and
oh no.
80s?
Men have become feminized. Look at
Yeah.
Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood. I mean, look at those movies. Badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were guys. They grabbed guys. Come here.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, come here, fatty. Oh, God forbid.
Yeah.
God forbid you pick on someone because they're fat shaming. Well,
Yeah.
don't be fat. You won't get shamed. I
Yeah.
love the Ozempic commercials. I've lost my weight and I'm doing it. Well, I said, your thighs are 40 inches. You haven't lost any weight. This is an embarrassment. You're seeing you're all these like Miss Piglets are dancing. I'm gonna say, yeah, and I do it. Well, no, your AOC is no, you're fat. You haven't lost any weight. Why don't you just go to the gym? Let's sit there. Oh,
Oh
Ozempic.
man. Oh, you're cracking me up.
But it's true.
That's awesome.
But I
Yeah.
look at these women, they're
Yeah.
obese and they're dancing around. They look like remember in Disney, the hippopotamus and the hula
Oh
dress?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's what it is to me. It's like you're not looking at some woman like 50 that's really fit and looks good. That's what you want to look like. We all look
right.
like a sea cow, So I mean,
Yeah.
of course, if you say anything about, oh, you're fat shame, I said, no, I'm not. They should be ashamed for being fat.
Well,
I'm not.
they're freaking out over this commercial with this from this young lady that was
Oh, I
wearing
love it.
jeans.
I've got good genes. Well, people ask me, they go, Frank, well, you look good. I said, well, I have good genes. My mother's 99. They just find and it's blown up in their face. Now they're selling my brother. Now there's like a block long light up billboard in Times Square. They can't even keep the jeans in stock. So again,
Crazy.
Democrats, you just shot yourself in the foot. How old is she? 21?
Yeah, I think she's in her 20s there. Yeah.
20, and you're picking on her because she's doing a thing. But
Yeah.
Beyonce does something, sticks her fat ass in a pair of
Yeah.
jeans. Yeah, lady.
Yeah.
Here's an innocent little, but you keep cutting your
Yeah.
nose off to spite your face. It just backfired. Everything they do because people are tired of being told. I think people are tired of being told what to do. They're
Yeah.
tired of it.
I agree. I think we've seen a change in mindset.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't take long when Trump came into power. I mean, you started to see a shift and feel a shift within weeks after that. It was incredible.
Like store owners now kicking ass if you try to steal.
Yep.
Remember before? I mean, what kind of law is it you can steal almost $1,000 worth of products and nothing happens? Where was the brain trust on that?
Yeah. That's
Almost $1,000 that the merchant, if he has a little store, has to replace.
that's insane.
No, I mean that to me is. Have you ever heard anything so stupid in your
No,
life?
I know. When I heard that that law was in California, I was like, "What the heck is that?"
You can sell up to 900 and
I'm
some dollars.
confused.
So
Yeah.
that means if you got 100 people in there, that's $90,000 worth of merchandise.
Oh,
If you have 1,000 people, it's $900,000 worth of merchandise.
well,
To me, it's I don't know who puts these laws. That's why Gavin Newsom can't win.
yeah,
He's an idiot.
yeah,
He's totally insincere in everything he says.
yeah.
He never. Have you ever heard him answer a direct question? Never.
No, he
This way.
deflects it all the time. Yeah,
Oh, JD Vance would eat him alive
yeah.
in the debate.
Do you
You know.
think that they're going to put him out there as the face of the Democratic Party coming up?
Well, I guess if you want to look stupid, yeah. I mean, who else they gonna put up?
I was just going to say, who else?
Who else? Joaquin Jeffries. This guy can't even talk.
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head. What's the guy's name? The black guy from New Jersey. Him?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
It's a tough, right now the Democratic Party and let me ask you something also. I don't know if I'm 55. So for me, the 80s was a time where I was able to kind of absorb and get to know a
yeah,
little bit, but I just felt like the communication and the conversations back in the 80s, like you could be a Democrat, but still have a very, very good conversation with a Republican and be aligned in a lot of things. But now
yeah,
it just seems like completely like speaking to an alien from outer space.
yes. Yeah, there's no across the aisle. It's a we think when Reagan was president, they go out, have a drink with Tip O'Neill, Pat Monahan, and
Yeah.
they work it out. They said, listen, what can we do to help you and what can you do to help us? Little favors. It's not like a criminal. We're trying
Yeah.
to get the bill, so maybe you can, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's what Trump is kind of bringing back. But you got these congressmen from Hawaii. The one looks like she got hit with a tomahawk, and the other
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
and they're so stupid though when they talk, and they come up with these scenarios that are ridiculous. They're
Yeah.
ridiculous. And all it does is the more they talk, like Jasmine Crockett, the more
Hmm.
she opens her big mouth, the better it is for us. That's what I'm saying. Just let her talk. All of a sudden, she went to Ivy League school, but she talking like this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then you hear another conversation. Well, then I went here. I said, don't you understand? She's a phony.
Right.
It's like when you see a white Jewish kid from Beverly Hills talking like, "Yeah, let me ask you something." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, oh, Josh is really cool. No, Josh is a phony.
Yeah.
Josh would last 30 seconds in the hood.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because he's driving around mommy's BMW with his pants hanging down, he's going, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? The black guys would throw a beat. The black guys would throw a beating on him in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, I lived in an all black neighborhood, never had a problem. Never. Because I treated everyone the way I wanted to be treated. I was in the black boxing gym. It was all black. Never had a problem.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to go, yeah, because to me, that's kind of like you're mocking me.
Sure. Sure.
That's like a kid from Norway trying to talk Italian, acting like, hey, what you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's like you're making fun of someone. And they would have taken your $500 of jeans that ride down your pants and taking them off you and jacked you up. And then you go back to Beverly Hills crying. You know, it's just a whole, yeah, I mean, they're all like fakers.
Yeah.
They're all
Uh,
fakers. I mean, I lived Trenton, New Jersey. I go on with everybody. I swear to God. I used to hang out. I was kind of the perfect guy for that neighborhood. I was into boxing. I was into music. You know what I mean? So I kind of was like a little bit of a comedian. So I fit well in that neighborhood. I can sit there and shuck and jive with the best of them. You know what I mean? Just talking stories and stuff. I wasn't some guy who came and go, oh, well, this is a little beneath it.
yeah.
This is a little
T-
beneath
t-
me.
Tell me, what are you doing nowadays? How are you staying busy? Do you have any projects, coming up, anything
Uh,
like that?
well, honest to God, no. I think I have a few pictures that might come out. The business is really slow. I must tell you, COVID set this business and country back 10 years.
I agree.
It set us back before there were gigs going on. And now, unless you're at the highest level,
Hmm.
like Taylor Swift, there's no gigs. There's just no gigs because what it did to the casino business, they had to close down. It drained them. So they don't have any reserves to pay medium-sized acts. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So the smaller acts, I mean, listen, they're all going to be that way. Taylor Swift, Madonna, at one point, their reign is going to go. No one stays up there unless you're Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
But he wasn't trendy, though. He was a great singer. But Taylor Swift, she gonna look stupid singing those songs at 55 years old.
Yeah.
And Madonna looks like an idiot. You're singing like a virgin?
Yeah.
Really? You've laid more track than the Ohio B&O. You're like a virgin? It's like a 10-year-old song. But she looks ridiculous. You know what I
Right.
mean? When I see that. And so, I mean, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I mean, I have albums. I have classic albums. I have rock albums. Um, you know, if people see my documentary, Stallone Frank, that is, that's what Russ Regan, who was the head of AR, talks about. He goes, Frank wears so many hats. What
Right.
does it sound like? Rod Stewart sounds like Rod Stewart. Robert Plant, but Frank Stallone can sound like Frank Sinatra. Then he sounds like Woody Guthrie. Then he sounds like Gordon Lightfoot. Then he can sound like that. And maybe it's kind of my own demise, but I just love music so much. And I was in an era where you had to do all kinds of music,
Oh
and that
yeah.
and that I could do it. I mean, Tony Bennett wrote the liner notes to my album, and so yes, it probably did not help my career because I could do too many things. But what can I tell you?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Staying Alive.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that album, especially with your music in it, it was great.
That was
Even
wonderful.
to this day, man.
Thank you.
Was that a highlight of your life, kind of like doing
Yes,
that?
yes, it was a highlight. It was a highlight for me because I was at the end of my rope. I was 32. I've been doing it since I was 15, 1965. Had record deals, lost record deals, bands broke up, this, that. I mean, I said, so I was out here. My brother told me to come out here. Had a few things going, nothing. I said, well, this is it. This is the end of the road. So I asked him if I could write some songs for Staying Alive, because I found out he was directing it. He didn't tell me. I found out from someone else, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, and it was like he kind of not blew me off like, yeah, okay, right, yeah, the Bee Gees, 52 million albums for Saturday Night Fever. So I said, if I can get a half a song in, pay my rent, for whatever. I mean, I was in bad shape. So I started writing songs with these people, which I'll never do again, because a lot of these songs I wrote 99.9%, and I have to split it three ways because they're in the room and they can dispute it and all. I said, well, look at the songs they write and then look at songs I write with nobody. It proof is in the pudding. So, and of course, the movie companies take not 50, 100% of your publishing.
Wow.
Who takes 100% of anything? That'd be like, yeah,
Wow.
I'm working, my manager gets 100%. So basically, you're working for free. So, and but still at that point it was a take it or leave it kind of attitude. I was broke, and
Hmm.
I'm saying, wait, I might have 9 songs in the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. Can you imagine if that album, even without my publishing, sold like 40 million albums?
Wow.
Forget it. Yeah. So that's what they do. They're the lowest form of scum, these publishers. They take 100%, not 50, not 40, 60, 100% of your stuff. So when I look at these guys, said you sent your kids to Ivy League schools, probably on my money, on my sweat and blood. So I'm pretty tough with them nowadays with the publishing. So I just re-record everything. So I own the masters. Yeah,
Wow.
they're the worst. I mean, I'll never do. There's only one person I'll write again. That's my friend Tommy, because we've been writing together. Other than that, I don't want to write with anybody because I can do lyrics and music. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
I'm just not willing to share uh, my writing with someone that added one word that
Yeah.
I figured out. There was no big deal, and that's how I feel about it. And that's a big story with a lot of people, a lot of songwriters. Watch that Billy Joel documentary. So it goes. It's great. I mean, he was a victim of that too. He
Hmm.
got ripped off, but no, he's a great artist. I always thought he was great. He's lived, but again, are we separating his talent? His talent's fantastic. Maybe his politics suck, but his talent is great. And
Sure.
he's a great talk. He's not a political thing, not like these idiots from like REM and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
First of all, Michael Stipe, how many t-shirts are you wearing? They're idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they live a fake life. They don't live a hard life. Maybe they did, but they haven't in 20 years. So you're at a connection. Bruce Springsteen, you're not connected anymore to the working guy.
No.
You were $500 million. You're not connected to no matter how many pair of fry boots you wear, ripped jeans, you're a phony. So is
Yeah.
John Cooper Mellencamp. They're all phonies. They're all very, very wealthy guys. You are not the regular guy anymore. You're not the guy with the soles worn out on your shoes. Far from it. But you're still trying to picture yourself as that guy.
Sure.
I haven't had that success like they've had. So I'm still scrambling. I still have that, like they said, I was born a rambling man. I was born a scrambling man, baby.
Well, you've done some great things for sure, and I've followed your career, and
Well,
you know
thank you.
you've done great without a doubt. One of my favorite soundtracks is that Staying Alive
Thank
soundtrack, and I would recommend anybody to purchase it because the quality of the music there is just
you.
it's
Oh.
man, it's at another level. So I,
What's really wonderful, like it's funny how things go into retrospect. Like people are going, yeah, man, I just heard Staying Alive, man. I really like it. Or, wow, man, just saw Barfly. All these things
yeah,
that came out when they came out, they weren't huge. And now isn't it like retrospect, everything old becomes new again?
yeah, yeah.
Interesting, isn't it?
Was the song "Far From Over" one of your top
Yeah.
songs? Yeah,
Yeah. And again,
what a great song.
I've had to share that publishing, which I'm not happy about. I wrote every lyric. I brought just because you sit there and I'm telling you what to play, da 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 da. You didn't write the song. I wrote the song. You're doing an arrangement. But I was desperate at that point. I said, well, screw you. I'll find someone else.
Damn.
It's like, but that's what happens. And
Oh,
a lot of these guys I wrote with, I don't give them the time of day. Some of these guys I wrote with, I said, we should write some more stuff. Oh, no, man, I'm into other stuff now. That was 40 years ago. I haven't heard from them. Guys that were working at the Red Onion that I brought into the Staying Alive. I brought them in. I was the producer. I brought it in for the music. They had no cachet.
yeah,
I never heard from them. So to me, they're like get guts. They don't rate anymore because I put loyalty and friendship above everything. You might not like what I'm doing, but at least return my call.
sure.
Give me the respect. And you can turn me down, but at least give me the respect of returning my call.
Uh,
And that's
uh,
what we get out here. Hey, wow, Frank, I'm so happy you're successful. Yeah, man. I said, well, didn't I call you like a year and a half ago? And you never, oh, I've been busy. I said, so you haven't returned one call in a year and a half? Hmm. So
Man,
obviously you're in solitary confinement or whatever. So I don't buy that anymore. I was always forgiving. My brother goes, hey, you know what? Use them like they use you. Say, yeah, it's true, you haven't. And then when it comes down to it, you give them the
yeah,
kibosh. They want to use you for something. Because this is a vicious town. This is a very, very vicious town. And, don't let the sightseeing and all fool you because this is a vicious town, people. I got a wall in my back room. It's called the Wall of Sadness. And the whole wall, the original 8 by 10 silent screen stars, originally autographed. I mean, Wallace Reed, oh, fuck. I can't think of them all right now in my head. And I said, every one of these guys had, huge careers, and most of them ended up killing themselves. All big movie stars. Wallace Reed, Bobby Harron, guys that
Wow.
were
Yeah.
when sound came in, they were sabotaged. I priced Carol Landis stuck her head in an oven. The other one stabbed himself. I mean, their career was over overnight. It's like the stock market crash.
Right.
Here today, boom.
Yeah.
Imagine
Crazy.
having that. Yeah, like you're like these guys driving around the Rollses and all this stuff. And the
Yeah.
next day you are toast.
Yeah. Crazy.
I don't get in that Bitcoin, man. I don't understand it. And you know, if you don't understand it, just stay away from it. That's what I think.
I
I
agree,
don't
man.
understand it. I'm
I
in
agree.
green, baby. I'm
I
in the
agree.
dead presidents. My father goes, if it ain't green, it doesn't fold. Don't bother with it.
All right, Frank, man, listen, it has been an honor to having you on
Oh,
here. And
thank you.
where can people follow you? On
Oh, you can
Instagram?
follow me. Yeah, Instagram, Frank.Stallone.
Okay.
And yeah, Facebook. I think more people do Instagram.
Yeah. And Facebook, you're under Frank Stallone also, right?
Yeah, I think Frank Stallone. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
And,
So
and yeah,
we'll put that on the show notes at the end of this.
don't
And
watch my documentary, then you'll understand what I'm about.
yes, we have a link of that already for your documentary. That was what, a couple years ago, that
Yeah,
documentary? Yeah. Yeah.
here you go. Came out exactly when COVID came out. But
Oh
we got
man.
6 Best Picture award, documentary awards, but it came out and it killed us. We were gonna have a big premiere. I'm telling you, the COVID to me is the greatest ruse in the last 150 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the greatest did more damage to honest, hardworking people than anything, more than like the war in some ways, because everyone bought into it. I said, and these people, they buy into it. I remember going to the store, man, if you don't have your mask off. I had friends of mine said, why don't you put it on me? I said, for my friends, big guys, you got to wear a
Yeah.
mask. He said, well, you going to put it on me? And the little guard with his little spray can goes, well, okay.
Yeah.
Rent a cop. You know what I mean? All right, man. Thank
All
you,
right,
Rob.
man.
I really
Well,
appreciate
thank you
it.
for being on. I appreciate you, and we'll put all the
Uh,
show notes, man. Get you back on, like
yeah, let me
get some
know and I'll
followers and stuff.
and I'll post it when the
Perfect.
show comes out. Okay?
Perfect, man. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate
All
you.
right. God bless, man. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, if you're loving this content, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, share the hell out of this content, and of course, comment, comment, comment. May God bless you. Check you on the next one.